Hello, dear friend. Thank you for taking this quiet moment to spend with me. Sometimes, life feels like a whirlwind, doesn't it? We move from one responsibility to another, chasing time, chasing goals, chasing approval. But in all the noise and activity, have you ever felt that deep yearning within an ache not for more accomplishments or material things, but for inner peace, for something meaningful, something eternal? Today, I want to gently invite you into a conversation, one that begins with a story from the ancient pages of Scripture, but echoes timeless truths into our modern lives. It is the story of Daniel, a man not of worldly fame, but of godly excellence. A man who, through quiet strength and unwavering faith, teaches us how to live a life that radiates integrity, honor, and peace. Daniel lived in a foreign land. Taken captive as a youth to Babylon, he was far from home, his culture, his temple. Everything familiar had been stripped away. But there was something within him that could not be taken: his commitment to God. From the very start, Daniel distinguished himself not by shouting his beliefs or demanding power, but by living with a spirit of excellence. In Daniel 1, we read that Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the royal food and wine. This decision, small as it might seem, was significant. Daniel drew a line quietly, firmly, respectfully. He asked for permission to eat vegetables and drink water instead of the king's rich food. And after 10 days, he and his friends looked healthier than anyone else. Pause for a moment here. Imagine yourself in Daniel's shoes, young, in a foreign palace, offered luxury, surrounded by pressure. But Daniel chose to honor his convictions, not for show, but because he had already decided in his heart that his relationship with God was his highest priority. That's the spirit of excellence. It's not about perfection. It's not about being better than others. It's about being faithful with what God has given you. It's about choosing integrity in secret moments. It's about doing your best, not for applause, but because your life is a reflection of your Creator. I think of Joseph, another young man in Scripture who found himself in a foreign land. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, imprisoned, yet in every circumstance, Joseph remained faithful. Genesis 39:2 tells us, "The Lord was with Joseph, and he prospered." Not because everything went well, but because Joseph carried a spirit of excellence. He was diligent, trustworthy, humble. And in time, God raised him up. Dear friend, maybe you feel like you're in your own Babylon. Maybe life hasn't turned out as you planned. Maybe you feel misunderstood or overlooked. Maybe you're weary from trying to hold on to your values. In a world that seems to reward compromise, I want to encourage you. Your quiet faithfulness matters. Your integrity is seen by God. He sees every moment when you choose honesty over convenience, kindness over cruelty, humility over pride. Daniel's story doesn't end with his dietary choices. He was later promoted to high positions in the Babylonian and Persian empires. But even in power, he didn't lose his integrity. When a law was passed forbidding prayer to anyone except the king, Daniel quietly went to his room, opened his window toward Jerusalem, and prayed just as he always had. He knew the risk. He was thrown into a den of lions, but God shut the lions' mouths. There's a lesson here. Sometimes, living with excellence and integrity will lead you into the den, but God goes with you. He honors those who honor him, and when you walk through trials with your head held high and your faith intact, others take notice. Daniel's faith inspired a pagan king to declare that the God of Daniel was the living God. You see, excellence is contagious. When you choose to live with integrity, you give others permission to do the same. When you speak with gentleness, when you work with diligence, when you serve with love, you become a reflection of Jesus. Jesus himself lived with a spirit of excellence. He washed feet. He healed the sick. He welcomed the outcast. He never compromised truth, but he always led with grace. Philippians 2 tells us that though he was in very nature God, he humbled himself and became obedient, even to death on a cross. This is the excellence we are called to. Not flashy, not loud, but humble, faithful, honest. Let me share another story. Have you heard of Eric Liddell? He was an Olympic gold medalist in 1924. But more importantly, he was a man of God. He refused to run on Sunday because of his convictions, even though it meant forfeiting his best event. Instead, he ran a different race and won. But that wasn't the end of his story. He later became a missionary to China and died in a prison camp during World War II. Even in captivity, Eric taught children, encouraged fellow prisoners, and lived with excellence. A fellow prisoner later said, "He was overflowing with good humor and love for life, and with enthusiasm and charm." It is rare indeed that a person has the good fortune to meet a saint, but he came as close to it as anyone I have ever known. Friend, excellence leaves a legacy. It doesn't always make headlines, but it shapes lives. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be faithful. Excellence in your words. Excellence in your work. Excellence in how you treat others. Not to impress, but to honor God. Maybe you're a student. Maybe you're a parent. Maybe you're in the workplace or retired. Whatever season you're in, you have the opportunity to live with excellence. Be like Daniel. Be like Joseph. Be like Jesus. And remember, God doesn't expect you to do it alone. He gives His Spirit to help you, to guide you, to strengthen you. Galatians 5 tells us that the fruit of the Spirit includes love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. When you walk with God, these qualities grow in you. So, breathe deep, take heart. Keep going. Your life matters. Your choices matter. Your integrity matters. Let the Spirit of excellence dwell in you richly. And as you continue this journey, I invite you to walk with us at Echoes of the Bible. Our YouTube channel is a gentle space for reflection, wisdom, and encouragement. If this message has touched your heart, please consider subscribing. Together, we can learn from the faithful ones who have gone before us and grow into the people God is calling us to be. Thank you for spending this time with me. May peace flood your heart, and may the Spirit of excellence guide your steps today. And always. Until next time, may God bless you. Subscribe now to Echoes of the Bible, where ancient wisdom whispers into modern hearts.